Hey guys, Darren Carr, your coach of Wise Ocean Pods, and welcome to the first episode of my team review for the 2024 AFLW Fantasy season. On these episodes, you're gonna get a whole lot of different things. Should be a quick video each and every week. So what I'll be essentially be doing is just going through how my team went through for the week, what they scored, my ranking, weekly ranking, touching on each player throughout the week. So line by line, going through, okay, how they go, do they need to be traded out, do they not, things to watch out for them as such. So yeah, that's essentially what I'll be doing. Plus, I'll be touching on what my trades are going to be, what players I'm looking at, whether I'm tossing up against two different players, captain's options. Obviously, that's not too relevant in this game, but yeah, we'll just go through different little things here. So let's just get started. So Wazage Pods had a pretty decent, again, probably okay, I would say, 1167 in terms of the scoring, so put me at a ranking of 2,876, so a little ways back. I did see some massive scores like 1,500, so a bit off the pace there, but I think a lot of the standard teams scored around this mark. Some pushed into the 1,200, so would have been nice to hit that, but didn't quite get there. But overall, pretty happy where I stand at the moment. I think my team has some pretty good structure at the moment, so I continue to push forward. So yeah, 2,876, not the greatest start, but definitely take that from here. Line by line, so we'll just start with the defenders. So I ended up changing Sheeran to Thomas after the team review. Obviously, Sheeran didn't make the team with a bit of an injury, and just touching on that as well, she is not going to be playing this week either, this weekend. She's still got that, I think it's a quad issue, so she's out for another week. So I'm not looking to trade her in just yet, but happy I brought in Thomas. Solid time on ground, 97%, 79 fantasy points. So just continue the role that she had last year, and probably the reason why I went with her instead of going with a cheaper option is just I wanted a solid a player that I just could trust week in week out. She's pretty much the top the highest averaging defender last year. She was the highest price. So I just think the role is still there. It's going to continue to be very fruitful for her. So just thought, have a solid option in there, just get her in. And yeah, she went really well. So happy I went there. Did make a little bit of coin, but that's not too much of a concern here. Ruby Schleicher was a little bit of a disappointing one. A lot of time on ground, which is a positive to see considering she's just come back from injury. But the score was a bit lackluster. I was sort of expecting a little bit more. She did drop in coin a little bit. I do think she was a little bit unlucky. I do think she definitely could have taken a few marks here and there. But fingers crossed she comes good. I don't think I'm looking at trading her out just yet. Probably just giving her another look to see. Hopefully, maybe with a better matchup here and there, she can do a bit better. But yeah, definitely one I'm keeping an eye on because yeah, obviously we picked her as a value option and she hasn't provided that value at this point in time. So that just usually means it's a failed mid-pricer and you want to jump off them as quick as possible. But given that it was very minimal under what she was priced at, I think she was priced at 57, and yeah, she's obviously dropped a little bit below that, but yeah, I'll give her another look up against Hawthorn this week, so that could be a bit of an interesting matchup. The Hawks are flying at the moment, so yeah, I'll just give her another look, but she's definitely on the radar. Shit, that could go eventually. Also keeping in mind that she does have the round 4 double game, so that's another factor why I just want to give her enough time just to really have a good look at it. Hopefully she can come good, and then I can keep her to that point. And if I'm not liking what I'm seeing, then I can jump off her at that point. But fingers crossed she can get there, and hopefully even be a keeper for us for the season because she has shown that scoring ability previously. Goldrick was a good selection. Was very nervous about this pickup, but she went really well. Low time on ground, which was the interesting thing for me. Like if she can bump that up to a solid 80, then the sky's the limit for her. She could even hit 3 figures, but really solid score from her. Really good distribution of points. Even hit the scoreboard as well. So yeah, I'm pretty confident with that one. Made a lot of coins, so really happy with that mid-price selection. But that's sort of where it finishes off for the defenders. A lot of defender options really shocking this week. So obviously Lutkins was the main standout, 19 points, solid amount of time on ground. And the scary thing was that this ball did not leave their defensive half. The sorry, have a quick look here. The Kangaroos absolutely smacked the Lions, and so the ball was just constantly in the back line, and she just didn't get anywhere near it. So that's the scariest thing for me, and I think I have to jump off her for that. So she is highly in my trade considerations, as she should be for most people. The trickiest thing is she is so lowly priced that it is hard to get up to other players. Watson was again disappointing as well. She took a lot of kick-ins, so that's a bit of a different role than what she had previously. So even if I just show you that now, she took 7 kick-ins, only playing on the 5 times, which is a little bit disappointing, but definitely has the main kick-in role, but still she didn't really do much else besides that, unfortunately. So I don't know if that was just the fact that the St Kilda were winning by a fair margin. They kind of smacked the Suns by 54 points. So does that mean in a couple of weeks' time, or even next week when they play a tougher opponent in Sydney, that the ball will be in the defensive a bit more, so then she can get her hands on the ball, take a few more marks, chip it around a little bit more, maybe. So I want to look at it one more time. She did go up a little bit in coins, so it's not the worst thing, but definitely one that I have considered trading out, given that she didn't show a whole heap. But I think I'll definitely move her to the bench this week, because I definitely prefer Finn, who quietly just did pretty well. She probably could have even got a lot more points than this. She took the 3 marks, which was, I believe, the highest marking tally for... Yeah, she was the highest marking tally for Carlton. So it was not a game where, you know, there was a lot of marks in it. I think the highest mark received was 4. So it wasn't one of those games where you got a lot of marks. She played on the wing. So I'm definitely quite bullish that she could definitely increase her scoring output. So I'm confident with her on field, but definitely not too confident with, you know, Watson and Lutkins there. So definitely a few shuffles here and there. And that did lose me a fair few points, unfortunately. Moving on to the midfield, so had Marinoff as my captain, so really happy with that. She was my highest scorer on field, so a 121, you're taking it every day of the week. Did drop a little bit in coin because our break even was so high, but having that solid captain option just makes it super easy and don't need to worry about it too much. So I'm happy to pay that price, and again, I think she will continue to go very, very well. And she's got Fremantle this week, who we saw were very contested, so they like to have lots of stoppages, so that can mean lots of points for Marinoff this week. So she'll again be in my captain options. I think she'll definitely be my captain, because there's not many other players that I'm confident with at the moment. Row bottom was probably a little bit disappointing with 104. Like, it's solid, good distribution of points, stats there. Well, 3 marks is probably a bit low, but that's alright. 5 free kicks against was the most disappointing thing. Definitely could have been a 120 there, but yeah, I'll take it. Unfortunately, did lose a bit of coin, but you got to take what you can with these high-priced midfielders. They're going to provide the most points, so happy to take that on the chin. Blackburn, again, probably another disappointing primo mid that I've paid up for. So all 3 of my primo mids went down that just a small amount, like. And the fact that Blackburn was on for a flyer at the start, so I think at half time she was on like 60 something points, if not even more, to be honest. But then it pretty much was the fact that the Bulldogs got just washed. They were just walked over in the second half. I think GWS went on to score 8 goals in that second half, and she couldn't get her hands on the ball, couldn't get any tackles. They just couldn't have any control of the game at all. So she ended up just not having any influence, and I think she only scored like let's have a quick look here. She scored 10 in the third, and then she scored 18 in the fourth. So she's only scored 28 points in the second half. So that shows that it's a bit of a concern for me, because if the Bulldogs are really going to be as bad as they are said to going to be, then this could mean very disaster for Blackburn, because she's not able to get influence on the game. So fingers crossed she become like they become better and keep it contested for her, because yeah, I do want to keep her for a little while longer. But yeah, being so bit unique under 9% is a bit of a concern for me. Hopefully she can keep that back up. Mackenzie here was pretty good, 81, definitely pretty solid. Went up a solid amount of cash as a mid-priced option. It's a bit of a bittersweet moment because the two options that I was considering as a mid-priced option was Mackenzie or McCarthy there, which we all know McCarthy went on to score nearly 60 points more than Mackenzie here and went up on 200k. So bit bittersweet and definitely yeah, making me bite my tongue here a little bit, but happy with Mackenzie, 81, went up nearly 90k, solid role. So she was the number one CBA taker at Richmond here. Solid games coming up, so I'm definitely got to keep her and just continue to see the cash rise. But yeah, definitely could have been a lot better, but I'll take it. And Goody, we all know Goody was going to go very, very well. The thing that surprised me the most is that she wasn't in the CBA, so she didn't have a single CBA. Surprisingly, they went with Window being the main rookie in there, so that was a bit of a surprise for me. But she still scored really well. She was off the halfback. She was able to get a lot of those chip kicks, so that they were happy to sort of chip it around a little bit. Port Adelaide. So she got involved a lot there, and she was also pushing up into the stoppage. So she was doing very, very well, and I do think she'll go well again this week. Western Bulldogs, we know they're not the greatest team, so she should get plenty of the ball. Fingers crossed. It's not all in their forward line because she's not always there. But yeah, definitely one that I'm happy to field for a little while longer. Breed from the Hawks went really, really well again. A lot of CBAs, so she's got a great role. I'm glad I selected her. And yeah, what more can I say? She kicked a few goals, a goal and a behind, so just showed really good ability. So yeah, definitely raising up in coin a lot. So which is really important this time of year. The biggest change I probably made in compared to my team reveal was that I changed my ruck from Edmonds to Morfett in the end. I was concerned when the teams were announced that Edmonds had another. The Western Bulldogs had a second ruckman named in. I don't actually know what the name was. It was Berg. So Berg was announced. Was named. So I thought, okay, does that mean that she's going to take more of the hitouts? It didn't end up being the case, but luckily going to Morfett only cost me 15 points compared to Edmonds, who was, I think, the most highly owned ruckman. I don't think there was too many other options. So I didn't lose a huge amount of points there, unless, people went with Stroman or Frederick, which were fairly unique at that point in time. I'd say most of them are just auto-fill teams. The mid-priced option for sure was Allen. She dominated that game. A lot of free kicks I will say that, and a lot of things fell her way, just getting free kicks in front of goal. So don't be expecting that every day this week. And she got against Strom this week, so I don't expect her to dominate. So hopefully Morfett can become a lot better this week, because a lot of the things I want to see is that she's going to get a lot more hitouts this week against St Kilda. We saw, who was it? Port Ruckman dominating the hitouts. So Bella got 32 hitouts to 13, so should expect a lot more hitouts for Morfett this week. And she still put up a really good score for her time on ground. So 54% time on ground was a little bit unexpected for me. I thought she'd at least be match fit to play a full game. I know she had that ankle injury, but I thought she would still play out a full game. Yeah, so a little bit disappointing there, but I'll take it. And I'm not looking to trade her out. I think she'll turn it around pretty quickly. We'll just increasing that time on ground. Besides that, everything worked out really well. To get 14 touches, take a few marks. Probably just didn't get the tackles I would have wanted, but yeah, definitely increasing the hitouts as well will definitely go a long, long way. The bench, Odor, I don't know. I think it's Odor. 60, really, really good. Kicked 2 goals, so she looked really, really impressive and was clearly the number one ruckman for GWS. So that was a positive. She's going to make a lot of coin for us. She did have a bit of an injury concern going out of that game. I think it was like an ankle or something like that. So big. She's not named on the injury list. I can actually show that since I have it up already. She's a test. She is named on the the injury list, but she's named as a test. So that means there's no major concerns. So she should be okay to go this week. If not, it'll be next week, and probably provides a decent red dot rookie this week. So you're not looking to trade her out if she doesn't play. There was no really other major second ruckman that you want to go to. So definitely want to keep her. She was solid. Kicked a great goal 15 seconds into the game as well. So that was awesome to see. But moving on to the forward line, which was obviously very, very poor compared to, which I think is comparative to most teams, because a lot of people had a poor forward line. So starting with the worst one, Too Good, injured in the second quarter on 5 points, losing nearly 300k is not the way you want to start the game. Very disappointing, and anyone that didn't start her would definitely have a major leg up now, because that is just a huge consequence. To pay up 1.3 million for somebody and put up a 5, and even in that 5 she was looking terrible. She had 3 points at quarter time, playing deep forward, so not the role that we were expecting to continue from last year. Yeah, it was just diabolical. So yeah, really disappointing. She has to go this week. She's named out for 8 to 6 weeks, I believe. Yeah, 8 to 6 weeks. So with an MCL, yeah, MCL injury. So she's done and needs to be traded out, and that opens up a world of possibilities with using her cash. Do I go down to a mid-pricer and then upgrade elsewhere on field, which is probably what I'm wanting to do, because I want to get Luckins up to a decent option. So yeah, definitely opens up a lot of different possibilities. But my plus 3 definitely has to go to Kate Hoare. I was tossing and turning whether I wanted to start her because she had a tougher run to start the season. I wasn't sure how good Melbourne were going to be, with a couple players dropping off. But yeah, she really well, really well. 100, flat 100, 3 goals, solid amount of distribution between scoring. So yeah, it was just, again, Melbourne get it forward, they kick it to Hoare. So she was just dominating there, and I'm hoping she goes really well again. She's got Brisbane Lions this week though, so that is going to be a bit tougher. So fingers crossed she continues to go well. If you don't have her, it's probably a straightforward one just to go Too Good to Hoare. You're only paying just over 100k, so it's not a huge amount. If you've played it smart, then you probably have that already sitting in your bank off of the team building. I always like to leave a little bit of buffer there just so these moves are made quite easy. But there are a few different options in the forward line, which we'll get into a little bit later. Candy Britton was a little bit disappointing, definitely disappointing. Lost 60k. 51, but the positive thing I like to see is that she kicked 3 behind, so definitely could have been a lot better. And she did drop a few marks and stuff like that, so definitely expecting her to turn it around quite quickly, so no concern there for me. And the rookies, you got Tripodi and Pauga, both came with a bit of an injury concern, but both are cleared to go this week by the sounds of it. Both making good coin, both had pretty good roles, so 44 and 49, you can't complain about that too much. Smith was the other one that I'm a little bit concerned about, and I probably want to jump off just to, prioritize that cash generation. So she had a really good role where she was in the CBAs quite a fair bit, but just couldn't get her hands on the ball. She was the second lowest scorer for the Suns for the game. There's a possibility if they don't get smacked in the game that she could become better, but I think I'm just going to prioritize cash generation and jump on someone that's, yes, gone up a little bit, but has shown more than what she has. So there's that one. And then Window 43, a little bit disappointing compared to what her teammate Goody is doing, or a few others in the Port Adelaide jumper that are doing really well. But she had a solid role. I think she was the number 1 CBA taker for Port. Plenty of tackles, just didn't get her hands on the ball nearly enough. So I'm confident to keep her, especially against the Western Bulldogs this week. So yeah, I think she would go well, and happy to let her sit there at the utility spot for now. But yeah, that's how my team did this week. Let's have a quick look at my trades this week. So I don't know if there's actually an easier window to look at this for my trades. Or is this is just it, I think. So for now, I've gone Too Good to Hodder. So I think Hodder's the best option you can go to in terms of going to a mid-pricer. She looked really good in that game. Even though it was a game they got dominated in, so it didn't spend a huge amount of time in her forward line. So I think she'll go much better when they get better supply. She had some CBAs. It wasn't a huge amount, but she definitely was involved in that. Obviously, shown she's a tackler, and she definitely can kick a fair few goals when she gets the opportunity. So I think she'll be one that can definitely push the top 5 forwards given the opportunity. Yes, she went down a little bit in coin, but nothing too crazy. So I think she's one there. I did consider a couple of different options. So obviously Saint has been widely spoken about. Port Adelaide. Got Western Bulldogs this week, so that's obviously a good matchup. But you know me, I like to look long term with these sort of things. So I don't know if Saint is going to be a keeper for the year, whereas I see Hodder maybe. So happy to pay that little bit extra to get Hodder rather than going like Saint, who did kick a goal and 2 behinds to really rely on that score. So did have a few CBAs as well, but I don't know if that's going to continue for a long, long time. So just not 100% sure on this one. Looking back at her previous history, I don't see too much of a change into her role, so it just gives me a bit of concern. The other one, I think I spoke about her in my team reveal, was Sheriff. A lot of CBA, so I think it was like 67% time on ground. In the CBA, so always around the ball. But the 2 goals are what scares me. If she still scored like just a flat 67 without goals, then I definitely would have been happy to jump on it. But because she scored the 2 goals, that pretty much puts it close to a 50 without them. So don't know if I'm happy to pay for someone that's just going to be 50 and not get close to the top 5. Ideally want to see her get 70s to be in that range. So yeah, it would have been nice to start her, but probably not worth trading into her at this point in time, even though she is at a cheap price. I guess some other forward option. Why not? Other forward options that I've considered. I didn't really consider Ty. She's too expensive, and you're not going to kick 4 goals every day. She was also working really hard, get lots of marks and lots of tackles. So Fremantle just dominated that game, so it was always around her, and she was able to use her big body to do a lot of things. Lachlan's got a suspension, so you're not trading into that. I don't really know too much about these other guys, but I know all the Geelong forwards went really well, even though it was a very tight contested game. So a bit interesting there, but I don't know how much I trust that. Really just looking for people that are going to be playing a little bit midfield and have shown a scoring potential. Randall was another one that a lot of people are considering, even though she didn't score the greatest. She had a lot of CBA. She took kick-ins as well, so she had a really good role. She just didn't really show the scoring potential of that role. So whether that's just the fact that she has 2 really strong fantasy scoring players around her in Marinoff and Hatchard, sorry. So they both went really well. So maybe they're taking points off of her, but definitely one to watch for a little bit later. But the other one was Huntington. Definitely came into my side briefly before. She played full defense, so she played in defense, so she took plenty of marks, just sort of chipping it around the back line, and that was in a game that they were dominated in. So what's going to happen when they aren't so dominant? Does that mean that she's going to get more ball? Who knows? Maybe makes it more congested. It's kind of hard to tell, but definitely a luxury that she's named as a forward and is playing a defensive role for us. That's probably it for the options that I looked at as a forward, but yeah, definitely feel like Hodder is the option. Besides that, I went Lutkins to Jess Hoskin. Now, this one doesn't fill me with a huge amount of joy, but I think just on the cash point of view, this makes sense to me that she's going to go up a lot in value. I think her break even, if I just bring that up here, she's not a forward, is 26. So she's going to go up a lot in coin no matter what she really scores. The role looked okay. Like, she was playing off like a half forward, but pushing into stoppages here and there. So she was able to get a good distribution of scoring there with 6 marks and 5 tackles. Is always good to see. But yeah, 2 goals. I'm not expecting that every day of the week. So yeah, I think it just makes sense from my point of view. And I couldn't really get up to too much else into the defense line really. She was the second highest scorer for the defenders, so yeah, just gonna trust that one. And yeah, wasn't really too keen on many other of these options here. So yeah, that's that one. And then the last trade, just doing a rookie fix up, really, is getting rid of Smith and trading in yeah, that one. I can't say her name. But yeah, just trying to maximize cash generation this time of year. It's just, yeah, trying to get as much cash as I can, just so I can, when we look at trading that, I can get the best players possible and keep moving forward. So yeah, there's another trade that I did consider, and that was Blackburn, jumping off Blackburn, because obviously I set up concerned with how the Bulldogs are going, and that would have been going down to McCarthy, but I feel like that's a bit luxury for this time of year, and it is a bit of a restructure. And is McCarthy really gonna continue to put up these big scores that she did? Obviously, it's back-to-back sort of 130s in the Practice game in this game, but both were pretty poor weather conditions. This one probably wasn't as, heavy rain, but definitely very windy, so it didn't make for great footy. So that obviously opened up a lot of opportunity for tackles. But I really liked her in the preseason. She spent a lot of time in my side, so pretty disappointed I didn't start with her, but now she's priced nearly at 1.1 million. I don't know how much more I see her improving on that. Um, she'd have to continue to average 120, I think, or thereabouts to be, a real big chance to continue her price generation. Her break even is, I think it was like in there. What's going on here? I've obviously done something. There we go. McCarthy's is at 43, so she will go up a coin, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be a huge amount more. Like I just expect her to be that sort of 100 averaging player, but I think she probably needs to push a 110 plus to really be a worthwhile pick from here on out. So, which definitely could happen. She definitely has that role of being the tackling inside mid. But that'll probably do it for today's video, I think. Obviously, captain option, just going to go Mara this week, and I'm going Blackburn as a bit of a VC. I think she plays early on. She plays on the Friday night, so yeah, against Port Adelaide, I think she can go well there. MCG, so a bit of an open ground. So I like her as an option there. So I'll try that on size and see if she puts up, probably a 130, then there's a consideration that I could bring in a red dot, but I'm not super confident on that just yet. Really wanted to prioritize cash generation, as I said. But yeah, this is the team for this week. Things may change depending on how teams go, but I'm not expecting too many things to go wrong. Like I said, O'Dowd may be out with that injury, but I expect these two to play. And yeah, a few other things may change depending on selection, but I'm pretty confident with how the team's sitting at the moment. Very mid-price heavy, so obviously the three mid-prices in defence now, one in the forward, midfield, and I'll count it as one in the forward line, just being Hoda, but I think I'll classify Brennan as a premium. But yeah, hopefully they will go well, and hopefully you've all gone well, and hopefully you ranked up well, and you've started the season. I keep saying well, but yeah, it's been an interesting start to the season, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Please leave a like and subscribe, do all those good things. I do really appreciate it, and let's attack this AFLW fantasy season. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.